Hey folks, how's it going? Chris here from MoDXtra Games and Collectibles. Absolute pleasure to have you with me here again. It's time for another collector's thought of the day from the man cave armchair. This is where, something going on in my adult collecting life has generated a point of reflection or something I want to express to the wider world. And so I pop on a camera, slap on the lavalier mic and just more casually, more freestyle talk to camera with very little preparation, which is not always a good thing, but there you go. And frankly, I've had an experience in the last 24 hours as an adult collector on the action figure side of things that has aggrieved me a bit, has frustrated me a bit, so I needed to exercise it and get it out. And doing a little bit of research online, I see that I'm not alone in this. I'm definitely sitting firmly in what could be considered a majority view, I think, here, not a minority view. And that is, as you'll know from the thumbnail, McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse collecting, and specifically the impact that a Platinum Chase variant experience I've had in the last 24 hours that has pissed me off. And Todd remains on the shit list with me. I don't like to go full neg. There's folks who watch this channel regularly will back me up, hopefully, to say that I'm not one for going full neg, but this is a complaint video. I'm doing it. I'm doing that thing. I'm having a complaint video. Anyway, so let's bring everyone up to speed. So regulars around these parts will know that I do pick up the odd DC Multiverse figure here and there. I am actually a really big DC Comics fan. Certainly read it very heavily in my early teenage years in the 90s. And so there's a lot of characters that are near and dear to my heart, a lot of storylines that I, resonated with me. 12, 13 years old that I hold on to, live rent-free inside me. And so I like to pick up the odd figure here and there. But the thing is, the DC Multiverse line has a lot about it I don't like. While some of the sculpting quality is absolutely incredible, I think there's more misses, far more misses than there are hits. I think the reuse is like actually aggravates me significantly more than it does in, say, Hasbro. And, let's call it after what it is, Hasbro are reused buggers as well. The line's not evolved a great deal. There's still pinned joints, weird elbows, weird knees. There's things that just don't quite sit right in the overall experience. Coupled with that, there's a price creep, so I don't see the figures. I feel like the figures are getting a bit worse in quality, but the price is creeping up. And then finally, just a very kind of unique to the UK collector experience, it's been made very hard to get your hands on DC Multiverse figures here in the United Kingdom. I know people in North America struggle with it too, and availability, supply doesn't always meet demand. But here in the UK, there are literally desirable figures, boxes that have never, ever set foot on these shores that we've not seen. Full stop. We're having to import them, and with the price creep, and then you import, your tax and your shipping prices and stuff, it's just not worth it. The quality of the figures and the experience you get collecting DC Multiverse for a UK collector, I don't think marries up to the cost, the investment you have to make in it. But I do cherry pick, and when figures do come along, I mooch around on a lot of friendly local independent retailers over here in the UK, and if I see something and I think, oh yeah, that's one I'd like, then I pick it up, which is normally just a traditional classic spandex uniform, the look of the character that they are most traditionally known for, which is another contributing factor. He's just churning out, like, here's my Jokerized one, here's my Frozen one, here's my black and white one, here's my spilt a tin of paint over the top of it one. Here's my obscure 3-issue miniseries version from the early noughties, but I particularly like it because I'm Todd McFarlane, and this version had loads of spikes and chains hanging off it, which also contributes to my salty feeling towards the line because, I just want a good classic look character. And the wait for the good classic look character takes ages. And to top it all off, I felt like some of his comments, he did an interview with someone, I want to say Shartimus Prime, and he made some comments around female characters, and the female characters are few and further between, and the ones that have come out look shit. I'm looking at you, Wonder Woman. I'm looking at you, Huntress. They're just not up to standard at all. Just really not up to standard at all. So it was tone deaf comments, about female characters, and then when he does put them out, they look shit. So as you can see, I've got a catalogue of reasons why DC Multiverse is frustrating for me, but I do still cherry pick the odd figure here and there. Big fan of the Keith Giffen era, like Justice League books, Justice League America, Justice League International. So I've got myself a Booster Gold, and I've got myself a Blue Beetle. You know, I've got my eye on that new Guy Gardner that's just gone up for pre-order. You know, I've got a Hal Jordan. You know, I like a good classic look character. I've got a couple of Batman characters, which leads me neatly into where I'm at right now, because I picked up the Batman Reborn, which is the kind of Frank Quitely, Grant Morrison run Batman and Robin look Batman. And Todd released on the Page Puncher side of things, not DC Multiverse, which also, you know, that's another thing. Like, sorry, this is totally unscripted, but that's another thing. It's like such a confusing line. You've got DC Multiverse, you've got DC Direct Page Punchers, DC Digital NFT bollocks, and then within all that, you've got Gold Label, Collector's Editions, Platinum Chase variants, which I will eventually get to the point as to why I'm so aggrieved at the minute. You know, all this different stuff that's ultimately meaningless, and makes it very hard to follow, very hard to be a collector. Very hard to get passionate about the line. But I picked up that Batman because I love the Batman and Robin run. I'm a big fan of Frank Quitely. I love his work dearly. And I like that Batman and Robin run. So I picked up the Batman and I was trying to get the Damian Wayne Robin on the Page Puncher side that matches up to it. But just did not turn up here in the UK at all. And so I'm mooching around on one of my friendly local independent retailers' websites. New in, Page Puncher Robin. I'm like, yes, come on, finally, you know, after the wait. Dropped me money, not too badly priced, and waited for it to get shipped, and it arrived today. And what arrived today was this, which, frankly, is not the figure I ordered, because it's in this weird grey cape, grey boot colour scheme. It's not the black and yellow cape and black boots that was pictured. It turns out this is a Platinum Chase edition of the character, in a colour scheme that I have no recollection of ever seeing in the Batman and Robin, you know, whatever it was, 24-issue run. Was it even that much? Might have only been a 12-issue run. Anyway, I went on the website. It says very clearly there are Chase editions. They're selected randomly, which is bobbins in a world, you know, like, how is it selected randomly if they're pulling out a box and posting it out? Anyway, and so I was just a bit frustrated and annoyed. Now, I've been in touch with the retailer. They're lovely, by the way. I use them all the time. They were like, look, if you're not happy with it, Chris, don't worry. Send it back. We'll give you a refund. The problem is they haven't got any black and yellow cape ones. All they've got is this Platinum Chase edition. Remember that. I'm going to return to that point in a minute. All they've got is the Platinum Chase edition, okay? Which is supposed to be a Chase rare variant. And it just got me to thinking about these Chase variants. So I was thinking back, like, I remember at the time the Hawkman came out. The mainline version was like the 52, I think, with the black pants and stuff. And the Platinum Chase version that they brought out was the traditional look Hawkman, you know, with the red pants and the green trousers and stuff. So the rarer, harder to find one was the one that was made the Chase variant, and the least desirable one was the mainline one. Not that we saw many of them over here, full stop, in the UK anyway. So I never picked one up, never got myself a Hawkman. I just wanted a good classic look Hawkman, and I couldn't because it's a Chase variant. So I've either got to spend over the odds on the secondary market to get it, or, you know, buy a bucket ton, a fuck ton of stock in the hope that I get one selected at random. So that's problematic. Azrael, did it with Azrael. The Knight's End Batman armour, the red colour edition was the mainline one, and the blue colour edition, which was the comic book accurate look, was the Platinum Chase variant. The red and blue Energy Supermen from that storyline in the 90s. Same again. I think the red one was the mainline one, but the blue version was a Chase variant, even though in the comic books he had both uniforms, both looks. In fact, that Guy Gardner pre-order that's just gone up, that I've got my eye on, I just want the straight up plain Green Lantern Guy Gardner. But the Chase variant is in the blue uniform when he had the yellow ring, when he was rolling solo, with the yellow ring in that period of time in the 90s, around the Death of Superman sort of era. Which somebody, you know, if they were really into the character and really into that particular comic book and into that period of Guy Gardner history, might just want to be able to walk in and buy the the blue uniform with the yellow ring as much as I want to just make sure I have a good classic look green uniform Guy Gardner. Do you know what I mean? So it's all just upside down and back to front. There was a Starfire. He's done a Platinum Edition repaint of a Starfire, which is to all intents and purposes not Starfire, but her sister, Blackfire. You know, colour scheme, design, everything. It's basically a sister. So if you were a huge fan of the Teen Titans, you wanted a Blackfire villain character, you've got to just happen across a Platinum Edition on the shelf in your Target or whatever, or buy a bucket ton of stock from an online retailer in the hope that one of them is the Platinum Edition that you're looking for. And, you know, add to the fact, like I said before, that here in the UK, it's hard enough to get a normal one. It's hard enough just to get the standard, you know, mainline figure. But then when you start adding all this complexity and rarity, and, you know, it's just such an outdated kind of view of what collectors want. Like, Todd is just so living in the 90s. It's such a, I mean, he's from the world of comic books and baseball trading cards, isn't he? So I suppose that's the influencing factor. But it's what he's possibly not realizing is I am buying significantly less than I would in the first place, and I was already cherry picking, because this sort of thing is frustrating, especially when I very specifically want a character to complete like a little display. I just want my Batman and Robin front cover display with my Batman Reborn Batman from DC Multiverse and the Page Puncher one, but I can't do it. I can't do the cover. So like, novelty repaints are one thing. I don't like them. They piss me off. Jokerized version of characters, glow in the dark versions of characters, and, you know, a police tape paint scheme version. I'm joking, but you get the idea. You know, dipped it in a tin of paint and threw it in a box variants are one thing, but to do whole other characters, or to like really fuck about with where's the core look one, where's the non-core look one, and when you want the core look one, you don't get it. But when you do want the core look one, that's the platinum one that's hard to find, and you have to go through that whole rigmarole of, you know, going on the chase. And it makes it an unpleasant collector's experience. I mean, from Todd's point of view, and this is where it really frustrates me, like, it's craven profiteering, you know, and the same way I criticise Hasbro, and the same way as I've criticised Mattel in the past, you know, for that very flagrant craven profiteering that is to the detriment of the customer, because it's just all about, like, you know, when I complain about multi-packs on Marvel Legends, it's the same sort of thing. You know, it's having the opposite impact, but it's that craven profiteering, that manipulation of us as customers, and not placing us first, placing us second in the experience, even though we're what drives that dynamic, just really does my head in. It just really does my head in. And so I don't buy Marvel Legends 2-packs, and I'm buying far less McFarlane Toys. And now, after this experience, I'm going to be buying even less. Like that Guy Gardner now, if I did pre-order it, it's a lottery, because I'm taking a risk that I'm not going to get the core Green Lantern look, feel, classic uniform that I want. I might end up with the 90s yellow ring blue uniform version, which actually probably wouldn't bother me all that much, because I'm a 90s guy. But I want to make a Keith Giffen Justice League with my Martian Manhunter and my Blue Beetle, and I want a Fire and Ice. You know, although the Fire was shit, again, another female character that looked awful. But from Todd's point of view, it doesn't matter, does it? Because this, you know, this behaviour that he is showing around the line, whether it drives scalpers and like high secondary market prices, or whether it drives case buying, bulk buying, in order to get, you know, if you're a completionist and you want both the main one and the platinum one, you're going to be case buying or rooting around on the same. It doesn't matter to him. It still drives dollars into his pocket one way or another. You know, he's happy either way. Although I'm sure he'd like to be making the secondary market price. Just incidentally, I was on Amazon just before recording, and the black and yellow cape version of this character is going for £90 on the dynamic pricing right now. 90 quid? No, who's paying 90 quid for a fucking McFarlane Page Puncher? I question whether they're worth the 25 to 30 that he's charging at the minute. They've still got pins. Oh, but don't worry, folks, they've got a trading card with them, you know? So things are difficult to find, and then you throw in the mix that, you know, you've got this kind of secondary layer of making them even more difficult to find, particularly the one you want. So you want a classic look, comic book accurate Azrael? Nah, you can have this red alternative. You want a classic look, Hawkman for your collection? Nah, have the new 52. Take your chances. Maybe it'll happen across one, maybe you won't. But as long as people are buying cases, or scalpers are buying cases to resell, then I'm happy, because, you know, I'm Todd and it's filling my wallet up. You know what I mean? It's just so craven, and it's just an example of how the collector, the customer who drives the dynamic, is placed second. Like if I'd have ordered a Spectre and then I got the Green Lantern version of the Spectre, and I just wanted a good classic Spectre, you know, anyway, I'm not going to bang on about it. There's loads of examples of this. And it's just another nail in the coffin for me as far as DC Multiverse is concerned. I don't know what the story is with wrestling figures. That's not an area I know a great deal about, but I'm pretty sure there used to be, maybe even still is, chase variant stuff going on in the wrestling figure space. So I'll tell you what, if there's anyone out there watching this who knows a bit about wrestling figures, who knows a bit about like the chase variant experience on wrestling figures, drop me a comment down below. I'd be very interested to know if it's a similar feeling in the customer base as I'm feeling right now. You know, do they still do them? Are they difficult to get? You know, I can't imagine they're putting out, you know, a Bret the Hitman Hart in some obscure outfit as the main line and making the chase version, the kind of core pink and black one that you would expect. I'd find that hard to believe, but maybe you'll tell me otherwise, folks. So if anyone knows a bit about chases in the wrestling figure world, then let me know. It's definitely frustrating as a trading card collector as well. It drives me mad, and they're going crazy bad on chase variants. The new Marvel trading card stuff is just out of hand with hologram, foil, see-through, transparent, you know, all these different, you know, it's not hard to get a base set, but I do like a shiny trading card in my binder, you know. I don't like my DC characters in the wrong colour though. Anyway, I said I was going to circle back to something that was interesting, because they said to me that they have more of the Platinum Chase Edition than they got of the main line black and yellow cape version, which I thought was a curious comment. Now, I don't know if they was, I'm not going to name the store I bought it from, but I'm not sure they would have said that if it wasn't a company that I've emailed with a bit and I shop with regularly, whether they would tip the wink on that. But they said in the case they got 2 Platinums for every 1 standard. So your Platinum Chase Edition here in the UK right now is not even a Platinum Chase Edition, which is like an even more curious addition to the narrative around this stuff. Because the idea is, of course, that, you know, their chase. I know that has been the case in the past. Sorry, get me tongue tied there, because I've seen complaints, you know, around on Reddit and on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, of people who've been trying, you know, they want the core blue Azrael, or they wanted the blue and red Superman. They just chased and couldn't get it. You know, so I know it has happened. And that Hawkman, I definitely saw people complaining about that Hawkman back at the time. So there have been chases, but right now in the UK, the Platinum Edition stuff on the Robins, according to the information I got from the retailer, is that they've got 2 of these for every 1 of the normal one. So what's that all about? Which might be interesting to my North American friends, because you might say, well, you know, these Platinums are hard for us to find over here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just putting it out there. So there you go. I just basically feel like Todd screwed me once again. And to reiterate or to summarize, I'm already cherry picking this line, and my purchasing around DC Multiverse is very, very light, because I've already become frustrated by a number of things. And then just to add another layer of confusion and complication and making it harder to collect and just get what you want for your money, like really losing patience with it. I want that Guy Gardner, I'll give it a go, but it's not even like I can go, well, if I see it on the shelf, because you just don't see it on the shelf. I think the Forbidden Planet, the big one down in London's not too badly stocked, but I don't think, you know, like the one in Manchester near me, it's not fantastically stocked. You know, you're all right for movie-related figures. See a lot of the movie-related figures knocking around, like Aquaman 2. The Smith's Toys up the road for me, still like racked up with Flash the movie, Aquaman 2, Blue Beetle the film. Who gives a fuck about them, honestly? It's not even like I can just go, well, I'll just put it on the back burner if I happen across it. Because if you don't pre-order it, you're not going to get it, because the stock is so limited. And you just don't, you know, if you don't get it through a friendly local independent, then that's it, you're done for. You know, the numbers are so low coming here into the United Kingdom. It's just not worth the hassle. It's not worth the hassle. At this moment in time, it was easier for me to get hold of Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff when Operation Monster Force come out than it was from, you know, major, massive DC from McFarlane Toys. Which just makes it a bit of a joke. All right, I've been ranting for ages. I've not got the timer running, so I don't know how long that has lasted for, and I've probably repeated myself loads. But as always, throw your comments in down below. I know a lot of my regular viewers aren't really DC Multiverse people anyway, but if you've happened to, you know, stumbled onto my channel because you are a DC Multiverse fan, then and you think it's a good thing, then let me know why. I'm interested to know. I'm hoping to have my mind changed about this, or if you're a fellow UK-based DC Multiverse collector, and you know someone who's got stock and things and a good line of credit with Todd McFarlane is getting things in, then let me know about it. You know, anything, any comments, whatever. I'm open to them. But I'm so close to being done, like proper done with McFarlane Toys. I'm very much hoping that, you know, this DC license up for renewal thing may go in my favour, because I don't really want to be buying DC characters from Todd anymore, you know. All right, well, there we go. Not that niggy. Was it that niggy? Might have been a bit niggy, but whatever. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, do the YouTubey stuff, but otherwise, I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a great day. Love to see you around these parts again sometime soon for another video, and yeah, catch you next time. Take it easy, folks.